What's up, guys? I'm here at Brick's Corner on 7th East in Salt Lake City. I'm very excited to be here March 24th, 7 p.m. Utah's taking down the Detroit Red Wings. We'll be here taking down some Detroit-style pizza. Now, what is Detroit-style pizza? I'm glad you asked. This, my friends, is Detroit-style pizza. I've got right here the Brick House Pizza. It's the marquee menu item here at Brick's Corner. Look at that, kind of shaped like an ice rink, huh? Not bad, in square form, super thick, tons of toppings, sauce on top, classic Detroit style. But if pizza's not your thing, they got everything here. They got wings, salads, desserts, burgers, drinks. They got a bar area, but it's kid friendly here. That area is 21 over. Everywhere else, bring your family, bring your friends, come on down. Lots of TVs. We're gonna have a great time March 24th. What's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck. It's episode 92. That's Logan Cooley's number. Logan Cooley, he got on the board the other night against the Vancouver Canucks. That was a big goal. Could have used a few more of them last night. Talking to you guys on Wednesday, March 19th. We're still reeling with the aftermath of what was the Utah Hockey Club's worst defeat of the season, a 7-1 smashing at the hands of the Edmonton Oilers. But hey, good news is, regardless of last night's outcome, just as Sean Dursey predicted, the sun rose today. We still had a day, and it was a great day here in the Salt Lake Valley, and it's a great day to be a part of SLC Puck. We really appreciate you guys' support. Don't forget, we've got watch parties coming up. 24th at Brick's Corner, 30th of March at a bar named Sue. Would love to see you guys there. We're going to have some fun giveaways and all kinds of good stuff. Look at this. We're going to have like some SLC Puck shirts on hand, some koozies. Some of our other partners are getting involved too. So it's going to be a blast. I'm playing these ads in the show as well, so you know where to go and what to do and when to be there. And it'll be a good time. Don't forget too, we got some great new shirts on slcpuck.shop. I'm super excited about these. Been plotting these for quite a while, and they're up. They're ready to go. It's a little homage to our favorite burger stop in Salt Lake City, Crown Burger, the Crown Tea, SLC Puck. Please don't come after me, Crown Burger. I did this with love. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you should, but you shouldn't. We appreciate your support, Crown Burger. We love you. We always do. We always will. And yeah, man, well, the tide has turned a little bit for the Utah Hockey Club. We talked about how a few things had to go right for them to make the Stanley Cup playoff. They were going to have to approach every game as a Game 7 from here on out. They were going to have to find ways to win while giving Karel Vejmelka a night off. And I hate to say it, I'm right about everything. I'm always, just ask my sister, she'll tell you that I'm right about everything. And in this case, I think we saw that come to fruition last night in the game against Edmonton. I believe it was Karel Vejmelka's 11th straight start. That is quite a bit right now in the modern goaltending world. Hey, I got a little guest here. This is Kevin. Kevin could not handle 11 starts in the NHL, and I don't think he should have to. But Kevin here, he's a big fan of the Utah Hockey Club, but he was covering his eyes last night at what happened. It was kind of a debacle for the Utah Hockey Club. They went down early 2-0 in kind of a sequence that felt pretty weird. Yeah, hold on one sec. We saw, I mean, what happened here? I mean, the Utah Hockey Club, right at the end of a power play, gave up a shorthanded goal to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and then they get a penalty themselves to give Edmonton a power play, which they score on again. Zach Hyman had the goal on that one. And you think to yourself, like, all right, they're going to go down 2-0. At the end of first, they can still get back into this, but then Connor McDavid goes 200 feet, coast to coast, French toast, scores a goal to. I know it made me upset as well. to put Edmonton up 3-0. And at that point, you want to go see your mom? Okay, go see your mom. And at that point, Edmonton was up 3-0. They decided to pull Karel Vejmelka in favor of Jackson Stauber, who did not fare much better, gave up 4 more of his own to secure a 7-1 win for the Edmonton Oilers. Never a good thing when you let the other team have like a touchdown, an extra point in a hockey game. Yeah, that's pretty hard to overcome. But again, it was a tough night for Utah. And again, I've been saying this for a couple weeks now, and I'm right. I'm always right. The margin of error has gotten a lot smaller for the Utah Hockey Club. I think at this point it's safe to say they might have to play nearly perfect hockey the rest of the way to give themselves a chance. Let's just check in here and see what our good friends in the hockey media world are saying about the Utah Hockey Club, saying about their playoff odds, the math nerds over at moneypuck.com. NHL playoff odds. These guys are in Washington, Winnipeg, Dallas, Carolina, whatever. Who cares? Florida Panthers, Colorado Avalanche, fine, whatever. Big deal. Good for you guys. You can see the dark blue here. These guys are virtually locks. The lighter the blue gets, and if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, my talking about blue is not going to make a lot of sense. So flip over to YouTube. But you can see on this scale here, on this table, as the blue gets more and more pale, the more pale your odds of making the playoffs become. And you can see here, Utah is now out of the blue with a 12.9% chance of making the playoffs at this point. So the numbers say that the Utah Hockey Club, they're getting close to being ruled out of here. And I think if you look at the standings, you could also surmise that right now. So we're looking at the NHL standings on ESPN. Again, as a reminder, remind you guys all the time, NHL playoffs, 2 conferences, 2 divisions in each conference. Top 3 teams in each division are in, plus 2 wild card teams. Utah Hockey Club would probably need to, but definitely needs to keep their eyes on the second wild card spot, right now being held by the Vancouver Canucks, who the Utah Hockey Club beat this week. That was a huge game. But you can see here, there's it's kind of a log jam right now. Vancouver holds that spot with 75 points. The Blues are tied with 75 points as well, but they've played 1 more game than Vancouver. So the Canucks have a game in hand on them. And then behind them, the Flames with 73 points, and then Utah Hockey Club bringing up the rear of that group. The 4-team race for that last spot with 71 points. So again, we've been doing the math here. It's not my strong suit, but so bear with me. But again, with 14 games to play, we figure the Utah Hockey Club needs to get around 94 points to really have a decent chance of making the postseason. That's just based on historical data and all that. Typically, the last team in the playoffs has gotten around 94 points. Remember, guys, I know a lot of you guys are new to the hockey game. 2 points for a win in regulation, 1 point for a loss in overtime, and 0 points for a loss in regulation, which is what the Utah Hockey Club suffered last night. So according to my math here, with 14 games remaining and needing to get 23 points, the Utah Hockey Club is going to have to win 12 or 11 of their last 14 games. So the margin of error, as I've said a couple times, is getting increasingly smaller. And just to add a second witness to this, we'll check out The Athletic here. Oh, there's the paywall right there. I looked this up earlier. The Athletic is projecting the Utah Hockey Club to have a 9% chance of winning the playoffs. So the number is getting smaller, depending on who you ask. But here's some sunny sides to this. And if you're a friend of Mikhail Sergachev, sunny side is something you like, because he's probably giving you some eggs from his chickens, which is a fun story that's happened this week. A lot of fun stories coming out of the Utah Hockey Club locker room, regardless of results. And I thought Mikhail Sergachev's egg story was pretty funny. We'll have to do some funny videos with that on SLC Puck, Instagram, and TikTok. But and Kevin, please, we're podcasting here, Kevin. This is episode 92 of SLC Puck, and Kevin's here causing a ruckus. I think he might just be a little upset that the Utah Hockey Club's playoff odds are dwindling. And I think a lot of you guys might be as well, right? And I get that. And let me just say to those of you out here, including Kevin, who's thrown himself on the ground and is kicking in the air. And it's not because he's a 2-year-old. It's because Kevin wants the Utah Hockey Club to make the postseason. And I get it's all he talks about, really. I mean, he's not incredibly vocal, but all we hear from Kevin all the time is, who do you think they would play in the first round? Do you think they really have to roll with Familka the rest of the way? I think not having a stable backup goaltending situation is really going to cause. It's like, Kevin, just relax. Just watch your Bluey. Eat your
What's
mac
up, guys?
and cheese.
Sunday, March 30th, Utah's taking on Chicago.
Big boy
2 p.m.
We'll worry about the
We're going to be watching
situation.
it right here at a bar named Sue on Highland Drive. It's an awesome space. I wanted to show it off to you guys, so come on in. A lot of great art on the wall. Real Salt Lake jersey. Got to get a Utah Hockey Club jersey up there soon. I mean, look how big this place is, though. We could really pack the bar named Sue. They got TVs all over the place in here. Got a huge stage area. We'll do some giveaways, have some fun there. Oh, look, there's another TV. Got a ton of drinks on tap, lots of great brewskis. Tons of whiskey there too, man. A great staff too. Happy to serve you. There's the guy Steven right here.
Hi guys.
I'll be up here on the microphone in between intermissions. We'll have some great giveaways for you guys. T-shirts, koozies, lots of other stuff from our partners. So super excited to have fun the whole game long. And let's say you need more stuff to do to intermission. There's pool tables here, ping pong, darts over here. You can really have a good time here any day of the week. I love this place. This is the place. Like I said, March 30th, 2 p.m., bar named Sue, Highland Drive. Be here. We're going to have a great time.
But, here's what I would say again to you and to Kevin and to everybody else out there who is perhaps maybe getting a little disappointed with the way things are going down the stretch here. It kind of seems like the Utah Hockey Club might be fading here a little bit, but let's remember the goal here, okay? And this is something that our favorite general manager, GMBA, General Manager Bill Armstrong, talked about at length at the beginning of the season. Hey, we're not Stanley Cup contenders. Let's not pretend like we are. The Edmonton Oilers, who the Utah Hockey Club lost to by a football score, although you can't score just 1 point in football. At least I'm pretty sure you can't. You can get 2 points for a safety, but I think you'd have to do something crazy to get 1 point. I can't remember what exactly that is. But anyway, it's not, Edmonton's a team that could win the Stanley Cup, and they went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final last year. But what Bill Armstrong said, he's like, we're not there. We're still in the rebuild, and right now the phase of the game we're trying to get to is to play meaningful games late in the season. And the Utah Hockey Club is doing that, for sure. Like the Vancouver game, the other night on the road, huge game. Very meaningful. Down the stretch, too. We're in March. We're still talking about the Utah Hockey Club's playoff chances. It's a big win for the organization. I think we're going to be relentlessly positive here on SLC Puck, and to the point where it's going to be annoying sometimes. But the Utah Hockey Club is accomplishing their goals in their first season. I mean, we're so caught up in the magic of the story that we're writing in our heads, right? Where the Utah Hockey Club rallies and wins 13 of 14 to finish the year, makes the playoff by the skins of their teeth, and then beats the Winnipeg Jets in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and then goes on a Cinderella run that culminates in a Stanley Cup parade going down State Street. We've had this story written in our minds. But here's the sad reality. That's probably not going to happen this year. Okay, listen, it's been a great story, though. It's still been a great story. The Utah Hockey Club is progressing in levels, right? They set a goal for themselves to play meaningful hockey late in the year, late when Utah's having its second or third or fourth winter. That's what they're doing. I think that should be the goal at this point, is to continue to play these meaningful games. And let's look at the schedule here, because there's a few of these circled here on the calendar that I would consider meaningful, right? I think the first two that jump off the page for me, and hopefully for you guys as well, is Buffalo, Tampa Bay coming up next, because those are Nash casts. Okay, I'm going to be on SEG Plus, Utah Hockey Club Plus with my good friend Tyson Nash. We have a couple of really great shows planned for you. I'll talk about that more in just seconds. But for mostly me, those are like the big dates circled on my calendar. We'll have a couple more to finish off the season too, but to play meaningful games through that point, and then again to take on the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, on the 28th. If they can keep themselves at least somewhat in the conversation and play that game with meaning and with pressure is a privilege, right? We talk about that. I think that would be a huge win. The other one I have circled for me is April 1st. It's April Fool's Day, but we're not fooling around here. It would be amazing to have that be a meaningful game, to pack the barn at the Delta Center, to take on the Calgary Flames, who we are chasing in this playoff race as well. Make that one a meaningful game. The Saturday game on the 5th against the Winnipeg Jets. It would be incredible for that one to still be meaningful. But the goal here, the ultimate goal, if we can get to the last game of the season, and this is one that I've had circled on my calendar for a couple months now because we've been kind of neck and neck with these guys for that last wild card spot, would be the final game of the season, April 15th, 2025. If we can get to that date on the calendar and still find some meaning in it, I don't know what that is. Hey, what's up, guys? Let me just interrupt the show really quick to remind you about our incredible partnership with Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry. We've been giving out $250 gift cards to either one of those locations for a while now. It was so cool to talk to some of you guys at the arena the other night. A few people came out to me and like, yo, the gift card came. I can't wait to go use it. Go use it. If you want a gift card, go use it. Go out to Jonathan's Jewelry or Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers. Check out what they've got. They got some awesome stuff. Take care of yourself or take care of that special somebody in your life. I don't care. And when you go in, tell them that SLC Puck sent you. They'll knock another $100 off of your order, and that's good for anybody too. And so let me just make it clear. If you haven't won one of these gift cards yet, enter this raffle. It's super easy. Just scan this QR code, hit send. It's the easiest giveaway you'll ever enter. And if you haven't won yet, don't worry. You're still in the running. Grab someone else's phone. Take the picture. Scan the message. I don't care. Just do it. Get yourself something nice for yourself or someone you love, and go to Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers or Jonathan's Jewelry to do so. We appreciate their support of SLC Puck. And let's get back to the show. If it's possibly a game with playoff implications, or if it's just a game that is played with pride and something that we can really lean on for next season, that I think would be a huge win for the Utah Hockey Club. You know, it's kind of been interesting preparing for Nashcast this week. We're expecting to have someone who is a very capable sports psychologist with us on the Saturday show. We have a lot of great guests. We have a lot of great guests for Thursday and Saturday. Like I said, Thursday, I would say, is kind of like if you're like an old school hockey guy. I think you'll really enjoy our guests. I'm not going to tease them on this show. I'm going to let the Utah Hockey Club do the marketing on that. But if you're an old school kind of like I've been following hockey for the last 10, 15 years, I think you'll really enjoy the guests we have on. And we also have like, I could probably say this one. We have Chris Grenier from Bombhole Podcast is going to be on with us as well. So if you're familiar with the snowboarding scene here in Utah, I think you'll get a kick out of seeing Chris on with us. He's a hilarious dude. He's a big hockey fan, and he's awesome to just sit and hang out and watch a game with. The 22nd, that's the Utah Hockey Club's next gen game. And that's, next generation. It's kind of like geared towards like kids and like young people who are interested in a future in hockey, right? I'll just show you here's the image here on the Utah Hockey Club's website, the next gen game, Lightning versus Utah. I would recommend, if you know a young person, like maybe someone who's in high school or younger, probably younger is probably where we're leaning on this, but someone who is interested in like a sports broadcasting career, someone who's interested in just working in the hockey industry, head to the Utah Hockey Club website to check that out and to submit your next gen game entry now. I'm sure that's going to close relatively soon, but we're looking forward to having a lot of kids with us on the Saturday show. We'll have some guests that are a little out of left field, we'll say that. But it's going to be a riot. Tyson is excited about it. Tyson's in town today. He and I are meeting up later to talk about the show, and and get everything situated. But again, like going back to the Utah Hockey Club and what's happening on the ice, like it's 7-1 game against Edmonton. Again, I think the pitfall was somewhat predictable. I think they are running into some challenges having to play Karel Vejmelka as much as they've had to. I think that was definitely a lesson learned for the coaching staff and probably the team as well. Connor Ingram's absence is definitely being felt, and we wish him very well. And again, let me just give another shout out to the fans who are rallying behind Connor Ingram and who are sending him letters of support. Like I said, I've heard that there's going to be a group of fans that have made plans to buy a jersey and are going to be signing it with their well wishes and sending it off to Connor Ingram. So big kudos to those of you guys who are doing that. And I've said that before, that is doing what your part to build a Stanley Cup winner here. I think the players are going to recognize and see that. The coaching staff does too. It motivates the team to continue to pour their hearts out for this community. I think we've seen them do that. They talk about it all the time. And so I think for it to be sort of a very very mutually invested relationship between the players and fans is something that is only going to make what's happening here in Utah even more special. And I think you actually will see some of that translate to on ice success. So that's going to be really great to see. I'm excited to see that story continue to build. But again, as these games continue to roll on, again, the Utah Hockey Club is going to have to play nearly perfect hockey at this point to make the playoffs. The margin of error has been reduced to something razor thin. But, I happen to know that a few guys on the team and people who are close to the team watch the show. And I would just say this, again, I've been very positive. I've been very proud of what's happened here. And now I would say at this point, guys, it's time to let it go. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Frozen, but there's an ice princess who has magic or something, and she sings a song called Let It Go. Kevin knows exactly what I'm talking about. Kevin loves this movie. And I think that's something that maybe the team could benefit from. Now, I've been reading this book, and this is what I meant to say. I said I was talking to we're planning on having a sports psychologist on Nashcast. So in preparation, I read this great book here by one of the czars, if you will, one of the all-time greats in sports psychology, a guy named Gary Mack. I believe he passed away, but he had worked with a number of teams and players. Ken Griffey Jr. was a big client of his, and the Arizona Cardinals. This guy's the king of sports psychology. And he talks so much in this book. And I pounded this whole book in 2 days. And yes, I know how to read. I know that might be surprising to some of you. But he talks a lot about how, at the end of the day, you kind of just got to detach yourself a little bit from outcomes, right? And I think that he talks so much about how it's important to prepare yourself mentally through your preparation and through, having a positive attitude and being, visualizing different scenarios and again, making the preparation mental. But then when it really comes down to it, you got to detach yourself from results. This is a great life lesson for all you folks out there. I think you can translate a lot of the stuff from Mind Gym into really anything you're doing. So I'd definitely recommend picking this book up. But I think what the Utah Hockey Club needs to do at this point is sort of just get out there, find ways to continue to have fun, to stay positive, to work hard, and maybe look at the scoreboard a little bit less and sort of detach yourself from outcomes. And I think, as Gary Mack said in this book and in the many examples he provided, I think when you sort of release the need to have an outcome, you kind of weirdly make it more likely to happen. And I would just recommend that for the Utah Hockey Club. It's time to just let it go, play loose, let the outcome come as they may. You might get good bounces. You might get bad bounces. Anything can happen. You might get a good call. You might get a bad call. You might have to deal with Connor McDavid skating 30 miles an hour down the center of the ice and scoring a goal from, coast to coast. Or, you can have a terrific performance like Jackson Stauber did against the Vegas Golden Knights when he blanked them for the Utah Hockey Club's first and only shutout of the season. Like, you don't know. Let it go, guys. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And I think it's just a matter of having fun the rest of the year. There's almost nothing to lose. Keep the pressure off. Keep the pressure on a little bit. But again, guys, just have fun. Play loose. Live to play Love Me Sexy a few more times in the locker room. The more you play it, I think the better. But again, I think the Utah Hockey Club has had a terrific season already. Here's the thing that really encourages me about this team, right? Mike Fulta from the Utah Hockey Club, he's the radio broadcaster. He's really, really good at it. Had this really great poll on a stat here. Utah comes in, locks Vancouver down, and steps up in the biggest game of the year. He said this right after the win on Sunday. The Utah Hockey Club has gone 7-1-0 against Vancouver, St. Louis, and Calgary combined this season. So for me, I think to be in that 4-horse race and like in head-to-head matchups, like kind of dominate, that's a big win as well. I think this team is definitely headed in the right direction. But what will they be called in years to come? That's the big question, right? Are they going to be the Wasatch? Are they going to be the Outlaws? Are they going to be the Squall? Are they going to be the Utah Ice? Are they going to be the Venom? That's kind of one of the big questions that's been lingering all year. And yes, we did narrow it down to 3 finalists not too long ago: Utah Hockey Club, Utah Mammoth, and Utah Outlaws. We remember the in-arena voting. I believe that was probably around January, right? So the reporting this week, we've seen a couple different media outlets talk about how an extension has been filed for Utah Mammoth and Utah Hockey Club. And I think there's like a feeling out there that this sort of might be a trigger, something to indicate that the Utah Hockey Club has chosen a name. Now, I think that might be true. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Utah Hockey Club has chosen a name. I believe we saw that being reported by a gentleman who works for CBS Sports, and I didn't have this one pulled up here, so sorry. Let me see what his name was here. See if I can get it real quick. Nope, don't have it. Sorry, guys. So anyway, yeah, but you got a college football writer who works for CBS Sports. I remember in his Twitter bio, he said he was also a big hockey fan. He was citing inside sources to saying the Utah Hockey Club has chosen its name. Now, I don't know what that name is, but I think that it's, to me, the one that makes the most sense at this point is Mammoth. In my personal opinion, I think that that's going to be a terrific choice. I think that's something that a lot of people are going to be able to get behind and all that. But I would just maybe just clarify some of the reporting that we've seen. Now, my good friend over at KSL.com, who I enjoy sitting with and watching hockey games with on occasion, I wish I did that more, provided some clarification here on his Twitter. Ryan said, just to get this out there, an extension was filed on the Utah Hockey Club trademark application on February 4th, the same date the extension for Utah Mammoth was filed. The Utah Outlaws application, meanwhile, won't need an extension until early April. And then Ryan quote tweets himself. He said, also, the trademark application for Squall, Glaciers, Swarm, Blast, and Caribou have all had extensions filed. In short, trademark applications aren't too helpful in discovering the name right now. So again, I think it's just this, it's the legal process. There were deadlines to have the applications filed, right? I don't think that there's a lot to take from that reporting, which I think we've been seeing has been making the rounds on the Utah Hockey Club Facebook groups and all that. But again, my personal opinion, and I say this knowing nothing about the inner mechanisms of the team, but to me, I think the name that makes the most sense, that I think most people would feel really good about is Utah Mammoth at this point. And I don't know when we're going to know for sure. I would imagine maybe around the NHL draft time, which is early June. I think maybe you'll see that name announced. Could be at the draft, but I think that they want to get their first round draft pick in the Utah Mammoth jersey. So I would just keep that in mind. I don't know how much more before that we'll see the name come out. But again, I do think we're getting close to this process, and we'll keep you posted right here on SLC Puck. We'll keep you posted on all the things happening at SLC Puck. Again, watch parties coming up. Don't forget to scan and win a gift card from our great friends at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry. Call in the SLC Puck hotline with your blazing hot takes, a chirp, a compliment, an idea, whatever you got. We'd love to hear it. And don't forget, watch parties as well. 24th, we're at Brick's Corner, 7 p.m. Detroit Red Wings. We're eating Detroit-style pizza. Then on the 30th, we're at Bar Named Sue, 2 p.m. Little matinee hockey action, watching the hockey club play the Chicago Blackhawks. So that'll be a ton of fun. So stay tuned for details on all that. Follow at SLC Puck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to 1,000 soon. That'll be a huge achievement. And we really appreciate it, guys. We'll talk soon.